Wednesday. Want to give a
Hello,
big
everyone
shout
here
out
for
to
Waianae Town Hall meeting 6:30.
for
Let's get
allowing
the
us
meeting
to
started.
host
Follow
this
the
community town hall.
Cedric Graves, Maile, Shimabukuro here. Let's hear what they got to say.
So today we're going to be giving you guys an update on where we're at with the legislative session for 2024. We'll give some community updates and open it up for question and answers.
Choo!
Before we get started, I'm going to ask my chief of staff, Boss Crab, to give a pull over the food, and then we can all go eat. And after that, we'll have Senator Maile Shimabukuro with her PowerPoint presentation.
Yay!
All right.
Hi everyone, if you're able to please stand and please join us. PIkachu, ike ko manalong meri hanay kalanya may pagkakua, mahalong kiya lako, mahalong kiya aha, amin kiya oy ko may kai, no kiya maupo bakilani kiya no kiya po. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day. Thank you so much for bringing us all together tonight to have this town hall. Lord, please help us to digest all of the information that is displayed to us tonight, and please help us to be productive in our conversations tonight as well. Lord, please bless the food that we're about to eat, and please help us to nourish and strengthen our bodies. Lord, please bless the hands that have prepared it. And Lord, we ask that you protect us as we go home today, and thank you so much for protecting us and being here. Lord, please help us to have good holidays as we go into the next year, and please give us strength and protection as we go into the year as well. Okay, Noah, I'll keep with you, Lord, yes, so amen.
Amen. Choo!
Everyone, please go eat.
Oh, look who I see there. Oh, no one's serving the food. I guess it's they're not ready yet. The food's not ready yet.
Big shout out to 808 Express, our Talbert Ohana for providing the food tonight. Go check them out. Right
Cedric, the
there.
food's not ready. The food's not ready.
Support local.
Cedric, the food's not ready. They're still setting up. Maybe like 5 minutes, 5 more minutes.
Sorry about that. I think we had some miscommunication. We need 5 minutes for the food to finish setting up. Can you give us a green light when you're ready, Jeremiah?
Yeah. The kapuna can help him if he needs hands.
Hey, Cross.
There we go. We got our people. We got the uncles, Auntie Kapuna. He's setting up the trays. Right here in the back, you can see the staff in action. Cedric gave the order. Chief of staff. They're going to send assistants to set up. Rice. Little pig. Laulau. Ooh, yeah. That's going to be gone. This sucker's going to be gone. Chicken noodle soup. Oh, they're smart. They put the salad at the end so you don't get full off the salad. So all you vegans, you can only come get this and rice. And let's see what we have in this magical coolers. Look what in here. Ice, baby. Chica. Yo, stop. Collaborate and listen. PIkachu's back with a brand new invention. Stop. Someone gets to hold me tightly. What do we got? We got 5 cents. I found 5 cents right here. Oh my God. Hallelujah. We can make money. I can make profit off of this town hall meeting for a nickel. Oh my God. Hallelujah. So we got the food. We got the plates coming down. We got Brother Man helping out. He's catering this whole thing. He is busting his chops, singing up for everyone here. Mr. John Naputi Travis. Mr. Waianae and Shelby. Yeah, you cuz. Oh yeah, look at those Laulau. She got 2 plays. This grandma's a professional. It's like happy holidays. Alright, so you guys come on down to Waianae. If you ever come to our town hall meetings, they're finally paying for Laulau. Last time we had chili and rice and cheap chicken. You can't even get us meat jun and manapua and pork hash. What kind of Waianae? But see, you better have this Laulau because you know they're running for office, right? Everybody knows. Chihu, yeah, you. Oh, we definitely eat all the food you like. Enjoy it. We're gonna show the beautiful footage for all of you guys at home. What you guys are missing. Trying to make it more exciting for you guys who aren't here. We're gonna extend this is the start before the meeting. The reason why we feed the people is that they're not going to complain. If you feed them first, they're so full they cannot complain. That is the point of doing this stuff. So she's looking at the magical sauces. Okay, we're going to film the other side. And we got a long line, but Pikachu definitely going to pound those Laulaus. Kapuna and Kiki go first. I'm going to give you guys the sneak peek of this magical luau experience. The food's definitely going to be 100% Ono, made by 100% people Pono. And yeah, this is what it looks like in Waianae for all of you guys. Don't you guys wish you had all your town hall meetings like this? Because not every time you get free Laulau. You know, this stuff's expensive if you go up to Ko'olina, Turtle Bay, and those other places. But if you come to our Waianae town hall meeting, it's free. But you gotta participate. Only thing I'd recommend is a macaroni salad on the side. You know, if you're from Waianae, you know, you got the big style plate lunch. We can't do it those Chinese style. We want to. Oh, OG. This OG. So for everybody to know, Andrew Topola and everyone ignored you at that meeting at the Ark of Safety. What question would you like to ask today? And you know, I'll send it to all of them. What do you want to ask them now?
I just wanted to know if they went to detention home. Because that's the guy who's supposed to be talking to the kids, not the guy that never went to detention.
Right? And OG, if you guys didn't know, still doesn't wear slippers wherever he goes. Even tomorrow for Kupuna Council, rain or shine, he's still not going to wear slippers. That guy's got some hard calluses. I know he steps on those pokies and kiave. Bruh, that stuff is pokey. I got to wear slippers, bruh.
Same, I gotta wear slippers.
Right? And we got now, if you guys don't know this OG, you're definitely not from Nanakuli. You're not from the west side. Brother man was, you know, working in the force on the other side of the continent. Came back to save the children, doing some canoe, doing some great work with the parks. And he knows Joe Momoa, dad of Jason Momoa. You better call our cousin and his son to come back here and support the Ohana. Right? We all know. Auntie knows. Auntie Luella knows. Bro, where are all these people? Pikachu going to call you all to come back and support us. Yes. We need more Laulau. Garen's both there. Pikachu going to take 2. This is the first time Maile ever bought Laulau for Pikachu in his entire life. That is pretty sad. I'm going to take what we can get. Alright, so we got a huge line. Eat the Laulau, Kalo Pig, you guys all enjoy. Chee-hoo. Alright, once we're all fully fed, they're going to have a harder time hearing us complain. And telling them the truth. Shout out to these handsome men doing the catering work and all the food. And they're definitely going to replace choke chicken long rice, a lot of kalua pig. You know, a lot of people have unfortunate diabetes. We can't have too much salt, but there's a lot of sauces on the side. You guys can enjoy. They're probably gonna make a plate for Maile and Cedric, but everyone's here, so you eat a plate first. Enjoy your heart outs. This is a rare occasion because they usually give us chili.
Would you like some rice?
Oh, would you like 1 scoop rice? See, she's smart. If you get fat, it's 2 scoop rice, macaroni salad, no salad really, and choke food. That's how we all get big pot bellies. They try to make us into Charlotte's Web pig. They want to turn us into the bacon and Laulau.
I only had half.
See, she's smart. Alright, so definitely come on down. You guys will have a beautiful experience here. And this is the beautiful start before we get going to the real.
Back, right? For everything we've done in our lives, got to give back, right? And this is one way we do that, right? So you have to give back. And that's where I look at it. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I'm gonna try my best to give back to what I can.
Right. He gives and he takes away.
Oh yeah, this is from nothing. We came from working families and working parents, and and now I'm blessed. I gotta give back to people.
That's why I always say I work for God. That's it.
Ginger is good. I try it.
Yeah.
And I have okay.
I don't want to go like down that rabbit hole, but to me it was intentional. It was no, that wasn't a fire. That wasn't a machinery that worked, because fires don't work like that. They don't burn. That was like something. Yeah, every square inch, and then one building will be fine right next door, which is like, that's kind of strange. But yet that one building, everything to it. Like, a fire never really burns everything to a great crisp. That's kind of like an incinerator. Like, so, that's just, you know, I used to play with a lot of fire, so I know a lot about fire.
Pyro.
Yeah, it was a pyro.
No, yeah, the whole thing is suspect, and even the way that they're dealing with it now is like if you have the power to have this emergency proclamation,
Right.
build it, build everything.
Is that right? Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh, why do we need to get it? Why can't we just do it? As long as I'm not burning yeah. I'm just trying to get a permit. I'm trying to build a little barn. I gotta go on the bed. The plan, everything is on one piece. That's how detailed. So little bit, barn. Not even special, like, it's just like once in a while. I don't know why it couldn't be a oh yeah, this is percent of what it would cost contractor.
No pizza.
Yeah, so they're trying
Yeah, come. Just make them plate. Just hold it there. I'll make it and you make it. You know what? I'll make it.
Put that back.
No, Papa. No, Mary, just be quiet and do what I tell you. Yeah, let me get the water. You have to go look. Oh, the plate. There. I need already. You know this is. Let's go with the plate. Just be quiet. Come here.
I know, it's crazy, huh?
Testing, testing. Okay, everybody, enjoy the food. Get more. Anyway. Yeah, everybody, this is the food is catered by 808 Express Kitchen, by the way. They're located in the Old Boys Fish Market, on Ohio Street area in Nanakuli. So yeah, this looks awesome. Locally owned business. So really, really happy that they're here and they're calling for their delicious food. But hello everybody, continue meeting, continue doing this company. Just gonna get started though. I'm Senator Maile Shimabukuro, and appreciate you folks coming tonight, and for those also joining us online. You know, I want to start my presentation with questions that were raised in the community about two issues in particular. One is the youth shelter that's being planned in Makaha by RISE, which is a non-profit. Question?
You're talking about RISE, R-Y-S-E.
We're gonna have questions and answers after this presentation, so we can. Okay, I'm just saying, in terms of furthering the conversation, we can wait till the presentation is over. Mahalo.
But thank you so much. It's a good clarification. It's youth and young adults.
R-Y-S-E.
And now the reason that this is something that's being proposed for the Waianae Coast is that it's been a long time identified as a need. You know, I've been in my other life an attorney at legal services and had a lot of interactions with family court. And Judge Browning, who used to be the lead admin judge in family court, said it's a huge problem, the lack of bed space for both minors and young adults as well. In the case of minors, when they're adjudicated before the court, really the only choices to send them is detention home or Bobby Benson.
Yep,
And
there's no place for
detention home
boys.
is for those kids that have already committed some kind of violent crime or violent act. Bobby Benson is a private shelter that has very, very limited bed space.
Yep.
So Judge Browning told me that 9 times out of 10, when he would have a youth in front of him who clearly needs help, there would be no place to send them. You know, they're not as bad to the point of needing detention home, but they have
That's
nowhere to go.
correct.
They have no parents.
Suzanne Weston
they have
Foundation,
no guidance. They have
there's nothing for
no safe haven.
no place for
And so
boys.
what you need to do
Other
for
people
these
as
youth,
well.
for the break starting time, is
We
send
need
them
help
back to the
after
streets.
care.
And he and many other youth advocates for decades have been crying out of the need for shelters for at-risk youth and adults.
You separate boys and girls.
And then more recently, we prioritized Paiulu, POK for short, and what it is the Alternative Learning Center for the DOE, and it's an excellent program, and it's for those students who are at risk, and who we're trying to keep them in school and give them hands-on learning experiences and alternatives. And there's some very passionate people involved. Ryan Mashita is the head of that program, and Desiree Gustogo and Lionel Kamuli and others are very involved in this program. And the POK kids have come to the Capitol numerous times, and each time they came, they said their priority was to have a safe house for youth, safe beds. And they identified so many of their classmates and so many of their friends that, again, like I said, there's no parents. The parents might be homeless, the parents might be drug addicted, they might be incarcerated, and they're being abused, and there's no place for them to go. Because when you're a minor, you can't get yourself into a shelter, you can't do things for yourself. And so this was a top priority identified by them. And it's really part of a statewide effort to identify this, to really address this crisis of at-risk youth and other young adults. And so that's the reason that RISE is looking to shelter. We'll definitely be open to your questions and concerns to this. And the other question that was raised was HB 1397, which is the supporting housing bill and supportive housing. This bill also is a statewide effort. It's not just targeting Waianae Coast or any particular community. And it's in response to the public outcry that we hear daily in our offices of people, the houseless population, many of whom are occupying our beaches and our parks and our bus stops and, you name it, sidewalks. And many of whom are mentally ill, many of whom are drug addicted. You may recall tragic incidences like, the guy who was hiking and got attacked, with a knife by, someone who's mentally unstable. Our own teacher, at Waianae High School, a beloved Waianae High School teacher, who was sitting outside of a haircutting place and got stabbed by a mentally unstable man. And then there was the security guard in Kaneohe, who also got killed. And so these are the kinds of individuals that this type of program is looking to help. And we're trying to respond to many of these unsheltered individuals that don't have adequate support, don't have adequate access to mental health treatment, adequate medication. And that's what that bill is about. And so,
Talking about
and then we'll open to your questions too.
PIkachu.
And then moving on to then just in my hand, I'm trying to highlight just a few things quickly because under the capital improvement projects, some of the priorities that we're going to look at in terms of construction are the Performing Arts Center for Nanakuli High. That's always been a big priority. And then firefighting. You know, Lahaina tragedy was so eye-opening for all of us. I see Zeb and Nancy Jones sitting here. You know, we could be the next Lahaina, right? Easily. With all the fires we have.
And the roads.
If there was high winds, with one way in and one way out. And so a big priority of DLNR is to build firefighting dipping wells in each of the valleys. So that's something we're going to look at prioritizing. And then, of course, we're still going to keep pushing. We've already allocated $4 million towards building a parallel route on PIkachu Road. And keep pushing on that, and also to continue the turn lane project, in which we still have 3 major intersections to go, which is the Laulau Naval Road, Heli Lewis Street, and Keola Street. And once we extend those turn lanes, then we'll also do extend the Contra Club, so that'll really help both morning and afternoon commutes. Some of the new legislation that I'm looking at on the bottom half, you know, just a few. You know, one is this traffic citations on the bottom left. And, you know, this was brought to my attention by a constituent who, you know, and many of you probably experience the same thing, right? You get some kind of traffic citation, you go to court, and then luckily the judge does dismiss it, you know, because you're able to show proof that you actually had insurance or whatever it was, or you're able to take clemency on you. But what happens, unfortunately, is even though it's dismissed, it still shows up on their record. And this person got denied, you know, he was trying to get a job at a hotel, and he was also trying to get a promotion within the military. And he got denied both because of dismissed traffic citations. So we're trying to have a thing where if a judge is going to dismiss your traffic citation, they also need to seal it or make it confidential.
Yeah, expunge the record.
Yeah. Under education and culture, you know, we got a call from Beth Masuda, a longtime teacher at Waianae High, wanting to get funding for Hawaii surfing. So very excited about that. I'm going to try that. I'm also going to try to fund local IA or fish ponds, and the source will be Waianae High School, which already we fund a hatchery there for fish already.
They have the aquaponic system there.
Under environmental, we're working with Reuse Hawaii, who has for a long time been pushing. We really need to increase the recycling of construction waste. With the coming closure of PVT, it's going to become even more urgent because at this point the only plan is that all construction waste will then go to Waianae Gulch or wherever it is that the municipal solid waste is. And so we really want to try to avoid that. And other states have been successful. So this legislation is modeled after Oregon and other places that, you know, they really have been successful in recycling the majority of the construction waste. Below that is the groundwater testing. This is a big priority of the Surfrider Foundation. And what it is, you know, the DOH, they do regular testing of these tier 1 beaches, Kukai Bay being an example of one. But they don't test when there's brown water, you know, which to many in the public seems like doesn't seem logical to do, right? And so we're pushing them to say that testing, that's the most dangerous time of all. So that testing should definitely continue. And then below that, Hawaii State Fire Prevention Bureau. This is a big priority of HFD. As many know, Salcedo's brought this to our attention. You know, when there's some kind of problem on, say, state property, and we're saying there's a risk going on here. There are people setting off fireworks at a state park. HFD, being a county agency, doesn't have jurisdiction to go and cite those people to do inspection on state property. And there's a lot of different hiccups like that that the HFD said this bureau would really help to smooth over. And then going on to the next, just a few things that for carryover bills. What I wanted to highlight is SB 738 under Hawaiian Affairs, the first bill there listed. Now this is a very important bill. It's looking at really trying to avoid another Kalima lawsuit. You know, we've got over 20,000 people on the wait list. We have people that die on the wait list, sadly, and in order to claim that spot, their successors have to be 50% as well. And we hear all the time from people that say, you know, me and all my siblings are only 25%. You know, so now we're going to lose our spot forever on the wait list. So this bill tries to address that by saying that you can have a retroactive way of claiming someone's spot on the wait list. And it also prioritizes for those who are elderly or have a terminal illness that they would get an undivided interest, which is a paper lease award, which they can then pass on to successors. And then finally, under
I support
Social Welfare and Homeless Services, SB 471, This is a bill that's kind of controversial, but again, it's responding to the public outcry about the houseless that's really got out of control across the whole state. And it is really a compassionate approach. And what some states have done is they said, okay, we're going to strictly prohibit any kind of camping in public areas that are intended for general public use.
Without a
But at
permit.
the same time, we're going to create safe zones where you can go. And we're also going to work with the judiciary to say that if you are arrested for illegal camping, they're going to screen you to see if you have mental illness, to see if you have drug addiction issues, and then they put you into a therapeutic setting rather than a punitive setting. And so it's been really successful. There's places like Miami, other places that have implemented this type of program. So that's what this bill is trying to do. And so with that, I don't know if you want to do yours and then thank you.
What was the last bill that you said?
It is SB 471. It's on my second page under the social welfare and homeless, the second bill down on the left side. But yeah, take a look at that.
Mahalo, Senator. Appreciate your presentation and all your hard work. We're going to go and do a quick presentation that I have created for tonight's meeting, so if we can pull that up. Give us 1 second.
So Pikachu's gonna film B-roll. I support the first bill. I support the other bill. But Pikachu can read SB 412 related to human trafficking, and I support obviously victims. But I would make an amendment and a motion to add survivors / victim, because they're survivors and they don't want to be labeled as victims. But we definitely need the aftercare support services labeled in SB 412 for the Senate and the House of Reps. So Pikachu's going to keep on saying this B-roll until we get this video presentation up for PowerPoint. I would definitely fill this in with a lot of manao. You heard my report today. And there are a lot of bills, but to get a bill passed, you need the Senate and the House. So you have to call all your reps. Actually, just email them. You can call them too to nag them if you're not retired, you don't got Social Security disability. You should just call them and spam them and tell them we need your help. And if you want my vote, you should support blah 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 blah. This is coming January 17th. We're all running for office again. There's about 91 positions available. And I support that bill. So definitely read the bills, because you need to get the Senate and the House, both sides, to support it in order to pass. You must just email all of them, call all of them, and just tag them and spam them. Use the reverse spam, not the one in the can. And just email them and call them and tell them the truth. Most of the staff members are pretty cool and honest. They're not going to bullshit you like the other people. So, Pikachu makes his support for definitely SB 412 related to human trafficking. Alright, I'm going to get some more Laulau and take it home, because I saw a security guy, John, load up his place, take home. I want to feed my family too.
Alright, so everyone,
here we go.
I wanted to
Enough of B-roll. Here's
give
Charlie
us
roll.
all a quick briefing on how government works, so we're all on the same page and who to direct our questions and comments to, and to actually get results from them. So, in terms of our executive branch, I'll go over it quickly. That's our president, our vice president, our governor, lieutenant governor, our mayor, our department heads, and our departments, like Department of Health, Department of Education. All of those fall under the legislative side. Legislatively, we have
President is executive.
the congressional level and the state
So this is
level,
the
and we have
PowerPoint.
also
You guys can't
representatives on the state as well as the
Federal.
council and city level.
City
In terms of the council members, our council member is Andrea Tupola. So she oversees
City Council
the
1.
city. She works directly with our mayor.
She makes
and
over
the city's
$100,000.
budget and passes the city's laws.
She makes more
And
than
city
senators.
laws are different than state laws because they are implemented by different agencies. So, for example, if we're talking about our parks that we all love so much, Pokai Bay, that's a city park, so that would be operated within the city. So say we want to fix the restroom, we have to get it inside of the city budget to then get allocated so that we can actually fix those restrooms. So that's just a little brief on how the city council works and how the state rep works and the Senate works for the state level. It's the same thing. We have the
Aileen, you
laws
heard
for
that?
the state that governs
They're gonna
all
call the
islands,
city to fix the
and
bathrooms in
we
Cook
have
Island.
the funding for the state which governs all islands as well. So we supersede the city, but the city has their own responsibilities that the state gives to them.
Jurisdiction.
And so moving on to the judiciary, as Maile is our lawyer here, we have our court system, our Supreme Court, as well as our judges,
Effed up.
and our prosecutors as well, which
All
is
on
not up
cocaine.
there. But as you see, the duties of each are different. So the executive, it executes and enforces the law of government, so they control basically our day-to-day operations. And then for the legislative side, we're the ones that are creating the policies, lawmaking, and allocating the funding that the governor will then use to do the day-to-day operations for our state. And that goes as well for the federal government. Congress passes the federal budget that the president uses to then spend and operate our day-to-day operations on the federal level. So just wanted to give the quick review of that.
He's broke. 400 trillion.
As you can see, these are the people that represent us at the federal level.
Currently.
You can see who's who. Right under President Biden, that's Brian Schatz, that's our senator for our state. And then we have Maile Rono, she's our senator for our state. And then we have 2 House representatives. And all of the House representatives are based on the population size. So based on our population size, we only get allocated
1.43
2
million.
House of Reps in the federal level.
They're all up for election.
Okay, on the state level, as you see at the top, we have Governor Green, Lieutenant Governor Shelby, and then for the Waianae Coast, we have Senator Maile Shimabukuro from Poalina to Makaha, and then we have myself representing Makaha and Waianae, and then we have Rep Kila, who's traveling today, who couldn't make it.
Hawks,
but
baby.
He represents from Maile
Nanakuli.
Nanakuli, Monakai. So that's how the district breakup works for our side of the island.
District 22.
And then can you go back real quick? And then just to give a quick
You guys don't know
overview
your
of the state
representatives.
government, what we're really dealing with is our schools, our highways, and the budget to operate all of our different departments. And then in terms of the state senate, it consists of 25 state senators, so Maile is one of 25, and that's
We'll
good
need
to know
13
because
pro-Hawaiians
even
to
though
win
we
this shit.
have the best intentions to get
Joy
stuff done
rules.
for our communities, we still have to get approval from the many different other representatives that you need to
senators.
basically get anything passed at the legislature. And then when we move over to the state representative side,
Senate and House
I'm one of 51 other state representatives.
51 reps, all
And
their jobs are for
everybody
grabs.
has communities that they're trying to take care of, and so you have to find balance in trying to get what we need while also understanding that other people have needs for their communities as well. And in terms of our executive branch, they have to service all of those people as well. They don't
They
just
suck.
serve Waianae, they have to serve everybody else. And that's something that we're trying to make sure we have the ear of our executive branch so that they know the needs of our community and they represent us in that way. Next. Okay, moving on to our city and county of Honolulu. As you see, the city has Mayor Rick Blangiardi, as well as our councilwoman Andrea Tucola. And so again, they deal with directly our city issues, whether it's trash pickup, whether it's border water supply, whether it's our side roads, anything other than Farrington Highway usually falls under city and county. So I've talked to a lot of you folks when, speed humps on your road, on the side streets where your kids play, and we have to work through our city and county of Honolulu to get that implemented because again, they have to secure the funding on the city side because it's a city road, and they're going to have to manage that road from now until the end of time. And so that's why it's important to work closely with these folks, but also have good representation to be able to secure what's needed there. And then on that same note, the emergency access route, the one that we've all been waiting for so long.
Have all of them every meeting?
Say that again?
Do we have this information?
We'll have questions and answers after. Thank you, Maile. Maile. So I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page so that we know where to exercise our energy. And so again, going to our Waianae Coast Emergency Access Road, we're waiting on the city to basically get all of the permitting and their agreement on their side, because the state's been ready to move on this. We've had $4 million in the bank ready to upgrade these roads, and now we're just waiting for these permits like everybody else for DPP and everybody else to get done. So wow. Okay, moving on to community focused projects. This year we worked closely with our Waianae Kupuna Council, and one of the needs that we've been seeing for so long, for decades, is to improve the circulation at Waianae for the health and safety of everyone that uses it. So this year, me and Senator Shimabukuro made it a priority, and we secured the $5.75 million to reconstruct the 3 coastline jetties. And those construction projects will come up to the community to get feedback on what we want to see there. And so I look forward to having those discussions and seeing this project through. As we all know, everybody loves Waianae, and Maile's a Waianae resident as well. And so we want to make sure we're investing where our community wants us to invest as well. Moving on to Maile Academy, we were able to secure $3 million to help expand the school. Right now they're at full capacity. It's a great charter school using cultural-based learning and using curriculum that's tied to our community, which is so important. And those classrooms will be to be able to expand to allow for more kids to be there. Waianae Elementary, if you guys live close to Miller Street, you guys know the pickup for Waianae Elementary has been a real issue. So we were able to get funding this year to expand the parking lot, but also to make it safer for our parents to pick up our keiki. Next. Okay, next we have Makala Elementary. This was a project I really spearheaded to try to get more projects for our community. This we worked with the principal and our community of Makaha directly to come up with the idea to create a 21st century learning center. What's so great about this is that it's using technology to incorporate with our kids, but also this will be a place for us to gather, because it will have an amphitheater. So for talent shows and plays and things like that, this will be able to be used for our kids to showcase their talents. A big project that we've been working on for almost 5-6 years now is the Waianae High School football field, as well as the all-weather rubber track. So there is actually a hearing tomorrow for an SMA permit with the city and county for this project specifically. So if you have feedback on this project, tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Waianae Library would be a good time to share that with the city and county for the permitting process. So quick update on that. So the SMA is a special management area permit, and because this project is a big project, they need to go through this process. And what happens after this, they get the community's feedback, and then they present it to our city council. City council either approves it or denies it. They're most likely going to approve it, and then the construction of the project can begin once those permits are finalized. So that's where we're at with that. Kaena Point State Park is the only state park on the west side, and we were able to allocate $4.3 million to redo the restrooms, to also do some maintaining of the different areas. But we're also looking at building another restroom closer to the hike, the trail, the Kaena Point State Trail Park, and those would be compost toilets, so that it doesn't really need water, or it can just be pumped out. So that's what's happening for that. We also have the Makua building. If you guys ever went to Kaena Point, you'll know that there's a building right in front of Makua Beach. So we're looking at taking that building over, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the Division of State Parks there. We're also going to use that for a site for dog care, to do enforcements, to basically work out as a substation. And then we're also opening it up for community nonprofits to do cultural awareness and education at that site. And so that's something to look forward to as well. Okay, and then in terms of funding, I just attended the Waianae Comprehensive Health Center's newly renovated Harriet and Jeanette Weinberg Dental Clinic. Sorry, I need some water. So the dental clinic just reopened. I think it was 4 seats, now it's 10. So it's more services that are going to be offered to our community in terms of dental work. But the cool thing about this is that in 2022, we were able to restore the adult dental health care for our Medicaid and Medicare patients. And so you won't only be able to just pull your teeth out how it's been for this past decade or so. You will be able to actually do preventative work here at Waianae Comprehensive Health Center, and that will be more accessible for our community at large, which we know needs this desperately. And then, last part of the community update, we are taking on internships for my office. So one of the things that I've been really focused on doing is training up our next generation of leaders in our community to be involved and to also maybe run for my seat one day. But we really want people who are community driven and people who have interest in politics or community or anything that excites them that we can help them with as government. So we have taken on some Maile Academy students, as well as we're recruiting some students from Waianae High School. We also tap into our local labor colleges as well to try to give people job opportunities, because we offer session employment from January to May within our office. We pay about $3,500 a month. If anybody is interested in those positions, they can apply with our offices. And there's also 75 other offices that you can apply to work in as well if we don't have any more space. Okay, a quick community update. I did attend, we organized your Westside delegation, me, Senator Shimabukuro, Andrea Tupola, and Darius Kila organized a meeting with all our law enforcement agencies to talk about what's going on with our crime. And that meeting was positive because there wasn't anybody that could say it's not my Kuleana. And really what that spurred was more dialogue on how can the community be of assistance. And out of those conversations, many of the officers that we talked to, and even our Chief Logan, mentioned about how it's really a issue that starts at home, and that there needs to be more programs, services, resources to connect kids who are having hardships at home, who have hard lives and are engaging in these type of behavior. If we can reach those kids, we can deter them from behaving the way we've seen in our community, and also getting a lot of these people off the streets in terms of enforcement, having more of a stricter policy when going after people, whether it's game rooms or illegal dumping or all of the above. We have to show that we have police presence, and that's one thing that your legislators stress to them, is that our community feels like there's a lack of presence from our HPD, and that we want to see more visibility from them so that it can help deter behaviors that we know are happening in the community. Even when it comes to our city parks and beaches, to have more enforcement on that, to make sure that the playing field's even and that our public safety comes below none. So I think those are all positive things. Following that October 30th meeting, Councilmember Tupola hosted another Westside Crime Update Town Hall, which I participated and answered questions about school resource officers that we're working on for our schools, to also make sure that we have direct response when things arise at our schools. So that's something that we're going to be continuing to work on. To end off on that note, one of the things that I'm working on personally is to create a Big Brothers Big Sisters mentoring program for Waianae kids supported by our Waianae community. So if you're interested in that and you want to sign up and you want to help mentor our next generations, please reach out to us and we'd love to connect you for that. Okay, so these are some of the bills that we're looking at right now. One of the ones that I'll highlight is relating to pesticides. So we know that some people misuse pesticides in our community, and one of the things that Department of Agriculture asked me to work on, because I'm the chairman of Agriculture and Food Systems for the State House, so I'm overseeing a lot of those issues. This is one of them. And then we also are working on Act 90, which allows for Billionaire to transfer ag land back to Department of Ag so they can put it back into production. And then resolutions we passed. One of the big things, again, relating to Pokai Bay, we really wanted to prioritize what the testing looked like for Pokai Bay, because there's so many reports of people getting staph infection and other infections, but there's no data collection on it. And so this was a priority for me, and we're working with DOH as well as the university to help with testing our waters out here, but also we want to test the sand. And we want to make sure that contaminants that are may be in the sand are also identified and cleaned up. Okay. And then the last one, I'll end off on this one, as you guys can read it. We'll send out these PowerPoints as well. We wanted to request Department of Human Services to study if the government as a whole is adequately funding each Oahu homeless program. And the reason why this is important is because we know that we have a high population of houseless in our community, but are we getting allocated the resources that we need to actually help with the solution? And so we want to identify that. Again, that's data driven, and that's why we want to make sure we have the evidence to demonstrate why we also need an increase in funding and services. Okay, moving on to my legislative priorities. Of course, a chunk of our legislative session next year will be focused on the Maui recovery effort. So that's going to take up a large chunk of our time for sure. But I think that we also can couple that with making sure that we're taking care of our communities here as well. And some ways that we're going to do that is by promoting the wildfire litigation and enforcement arm that we're creating through the state fire marshal. And we want to make sure that we have accountability when it comes to large landowners leaving their properties untrimmed and basically a hazard for big fires to start. So we want to go after those folks as well, and that's why a state fire marshal will be so important for that. Another great thing that happened last week, was it last week, Makua Valley? Yeah. We had a letter from the Pentagon basically saying they won't be using Makua Valley for anything no longer. So that is a great signal for us as a community that that land can be transferred back to the community and put back in potentially for community and cultural use. And so there's going to be a transition process where there's going to be committees that are made up, and Malama Makua is one of those big stakeholders in creating the ceasefire for Makua Valley, and that's why I know that there's going to be a lot of positive things coming out of this, and we're going to be making sure that we are doing our part at the state level to go after it. As I mentioned, the school resource police officer is something that we're looking at, and then in terms of the housing issues, we talked about clean and sober home enforcement, getting more data on that. We've had meetings on it. We're waiting on follow-up meetings for that to be able to identify what we're going to do for next legislative session to ensure that our community has the information they need. And one of the last things I'll end off with is the illegal guns out in our community. So working with Captain Lambert from HPD, one of the things that he strongly believes, and so do I, is that there needs to be a mandatory minimum for carrying illegal weapons, such as guns, and to also set examples and to prevent other folks from thinking that they can do illegal things and have no punishment or no real consequences. CIP priorities, we're looking at agriculture, Farrington Highway, fire mitigation, looking at our harbors and state parks again, our health care and housing for our houseless, and every year I meet with our school principals for every school in our district and get their priorities. And then after I get their priorities, I put it in a bill, which is our CIP bill. And then we fight to basically get our chunk of the pie while everybody else is trying to do the same thing in terms of the state budget. So that's going to be something that we're working on as well. And after that, we're going to open it up to questions and answers. All over your guys' time. Hope that was informative. Okay, we have cross moderating for the question and answer portion.
Hi everyone. We're gonna begin our question and answer period. So if you want to have a question, just look at the lineup. We're gonna go back and forth between online and in person as well. We ask that you kindly keep your wording to 2 minutes. We'll then remind you if you're going over time. And then, we just want you to be mindful because a lot of people usually want to have questions, and we just want to be mindful of everyone's time here tonight. We are going all the way to 8:30. Yeah. So that leaves us about an hour for question and answer period. We'll go up in person first. Come on first. Yeah.
If only had too many look at grandma, I didn't think that everything is what you. But anyway, that home year one ago, I think we really need to look at it. Yes, we give responses of one man, not good response. I'm a grandparent, great grandparent, and we really need to add to our right now. You folks said something that was scaring me. It's what the camping. I don't have a problem with camping, but please consider, in a way, we have our own rights. Yeah? And because in the city, when you get into the apology bill, right? 101, 105, 150, whatever you call it. Apology.
Poli-sci 112.
Yeah. And it just remind people that what happened here was illegal. So please take that into consideration. I mean, common sense can tell you, we educated people. So, the United States actually will apologize. So what you guys doing? I'm really amazed that we're still going through what we're going through right now. And by the way, I'm one of those people that was when you detention home. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. Yeah, that incorrigibles. Yeah, I was one of those stupid people that took advantage of my family. You want to know about the guideline? Talk to me. You gave catching them on my hand. Young lady. You want to know about I was kicked out of grove school and college. You guys know about the gangster? I went to detention so many times. I was automatic trustee. You guys know about detention? Talk to me. I can tell you what we need those guys to do. Tell the police, stop threatening us. Parents, my time, the policeman told me when the policeman see him slam me against the wall. I came from school wall. The policeman told me? See what he made me do. And you know what? If you go back in the day, the chain of command was my mom. If I never listened to my mother, and my dad was a hard worker, had to do his thing, and that was right. And then, discipline me. And you guys took away that from me. Our kids today take advantage of us. Shame on you guys giving me the right to do that. The get to please the right. And again, shame on you guys. You guys to look at that.
What was the question? You want to, what was the question you want to ask?
No.
It's Q&A.
I get the question.
Thank you,
Thank
Uncle.
you.
Thank you, Uncle.
Take comments as well.
What you guys are?
Any response?
We're going to be going on to see if there's any online questions, but sorry, I just want to clarify. Because you spoke 2 minutes, you can still come back up just to speak again as well. Do we have any online questions? No online questions.
No online questions. You're not even watching us on Zoom. Uncle, please.
Hello, my name is Richard Ledford here. I'm a certain resident actually, but you know, I look around the room tonight, and I think 100% of the guys out here is all the volunteers or all the guys that with different programs or with different projects that kind of bust their tail trying to keep up with the community and stuff. I've been listening to your speech about what you have on your paperwork and stuff. The guys that have been active pretty much knows that that's the same thing been happening for the last 3 or 4 years. So we understand funding is tough, funding is hard to get. Our police department, they talk about what we need or how the thing is going to be addressed, but then there's no money. Our city, our beaches, our everything else, they talk about what we need, but there's no money. So, I think we're beating the wrong horse. I mean, where's the money? I mean, we have all these projects, we have all these guys out here that volunteering. I know there's 6 different groups that go out and clean up, do the city's work, clean up the parks, clean up the highways, clean up everything. But to me, our system is broken. The more that we turn around and we try to do for the community or for the city, we end up doing all the work and we get nothing. So the program gotta be adjusted. Our program is broken. Same like what Manako said, our kids are broken, our grandkids and everything because of the system. They follow the system. There's no accountability. They talk about the kid coming around with a gun and shooting and stuff. You can never stop that as long as there's a gun in the house. As long as there's anger when they go drink. As long as there's disagreement with a lot of girls, his girlfriend or whatever, they always will get that kind of stuff. But the system is, we can carry it. Now you can carry one gun if you go on permit. So it's confusing because the kid figure, hey, if the guy get one gun, I don't punch him and he won't shoot me, so bad I carry one gun too. So, not that I against politicians, but working mighty long time, trying to figure out what's the system. What's the system? The guys who've been out here for 80 years or 60, 70 years, born and raised here, grew up on the streets. We're trying to figure out what the system is. Back in the 70s and the 80s, there was a system. You don't do stuff like that. You do stuff like that, you get visited. When you get visited, you better answer up to it. But there's none of that anymore, But I don't know. You guys think politics is the right way? And that's fine. But with all of the things that you guys write up, all the laws, and you guys change this, change that, to me, sometimes the thing, that's what makes the system broken. But that's only me. I don't know how many guys in here feel the same way, but that's how I feel. Richard Ledford here, concerned resident for Maile, born and raised, 76 years.
No, I think we all feel where you're coming from, and even as politicians, we feel that frustration too, trying to work on projects and trying to get things done. Again, some things are also out of our control. Like we can't control a person's decision to go and shoot somebody. Like that's not what we can do, but what we can do to make sure that those people are caught, which majority of the people that engaged in acts of gun violence in our community have been arrested and are getting prosecuted. So we're going to use those people as an example as well to make sure that we can try to deter as much as possible people from doing the same thing. And in terms of the city parks, we're out there. I'm out there. I was just at Waianae Beach cleaning up with Andrea Tupola. So it is on us as a community, but I agree there's city union workers that get paid to clean our bathrooms and clean our parks, and those folks need to be activated to the extent of quality service for our community, because that's what we deserve. And that's what we've been seeing through resolutions, through actions, and by actually picking up a broom and picking up a rake and going out there to do it ourselves, and just to show them that we as a community are going to do something about it, even though they're telling us that we can't go and hold a fair for our houseless people because that's not under their purview and they don't want us to be in there. We've dealt with the city on multiple occasions trying to do positive things and face resistance. So we as even elected officials have been going through the same trials and tribulations that many of our residents who call and complain go through as well. So I do want to emphasize that you are right. We're frustrated and we want to see that change. And I know that change will come. It's incremental.
Thank you, Rachel, for this comments. Do you have any questions on that?
Negative.
Okay, thank you. We're going back in person. Thank you.
Nobody's online. You gotta come in person to Waianae.
Yeah, I want to speak to the halfway house on the Little Road. I object 100%. My question is, how can you guys just decide that you're going to go put that in without getting feedback from the community? That's ridiculous. And our whole street is against it. I can tell you, everybody's against it. And I know you guys is for it. I'm against it. And I mean, you guys not really serving the public. And that's my concern. And, you know, it's just gonna, you guys are bringing bad stuff into our community. And that is not youth. 18 to 25-year-old is not youth. They should join the military.
Yo.
I had one choice as a kid. When I graduated, I go to college, I go to work, but I had to move out.
Pay the bills.
And I had to pay my own way. Learn responsibility. Military, that's the choice. I mean, if you have no choice, military. Okay? And then another thing is, investigate Maui, Lahaina. That's ridiculous what went on over there. I don't want to get into detail, but that is bullshit over there. Sorry my language.
Blue sky. He said blue sky.
And the thing what you said about people with overgrown yards, I don't want to see government putting judgment on people, trying to go around and fine people. You know, we're being fined, feed, and taxed to death. And I'm tired of it. It's just out of hand. You guys want to help the homeless. What about the people with homes? They're losing their homes. Hawaiians are leaving the state. What are we going to do? All these Hawaiians leaving the state. Oh, they can't afford to keep their homes. You know? And then there's a lot of subjects here I can't even review because there's just too many. But that's my take right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. People first.
No, no, no. You guys all know that.
Okay. Well, you know, one thing I wanted to say, we don't definitely hear your objections. You know, these are the kind of things to bring to the attention of the DPP. Because the DPP that gives that approves the permit for this project. And if there's enough objection or reasons that they are in compliance with their mission and it's going to create a hazard in the community, the DPP can make those kind of calls. And the issue of there being adults, one of the big concerns raised by the youth advocates is that the foster youth system, once they age out, then the services to these foster youth end. And many of them then fall off the cliff because they've lost all the support that they had when they were minors. And so that's part of the reason that these programs include those who are still young adults as well.
Because CPS sucks.
But we have to hear your concerns and empathize with what you're saying with the whole area.
And just to add on to that, you know, I think for me personally, I support the concept of having these types of units, but it's always comes down to location. And so, as you guys are going to express tonight, that location may not be the suitable location for that place. And as Senator mentioned, that's not our call. DPP is the person that makes the call, the city and county. And so to make sure that, again, we're putting our energy to the right place, reaching out to our city council member and our mayor's office to make sure that they understand where your position is will be a lot more helpful to make sure that that's being addressed at the city level.
Thank you for those comments. Again, do we have anyone online?
Nope.
No?
West Side, baby. You gotta come in person. 96792. You know you will rock it.
Oh, I'm Alan Matos, and about that halfway house, the same person just talked about it. My property ends in the back of that. You know, so now what? My value of my land is gonna drop if that thing ever go there. You know, I mean, they always talk about Waianae, everything is Waianae. You look at the newspaper, everything is Waianae, the west side. I have friends that say, where do you live in the west side? It's all right. I live here 64 years. I used to go out, close my door, don't even lock the windows. Today, you gotta lock everything. Okay? I mean, and I give a lot of my car. Because of the line of fire, I lost my insurance. How you like that? 52 years with one company. Gave my love letter in the mail 2 weeks ago. As of December, no insurance. You know, no insurance.
Tell them, Ochino. Tell them.
You know?
They're not going to cover you when
They're not gonna, that's it. So I live in Waianae. When that expires, it's going to be gone too. You know, my parents were there for 71 years. And I just lost it. End of December, I have no fire insurance. You know, they blame the Lahaina. When we call them up, it's Hawaii and California. That's it. You know? So I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, they talk about everything, just like bottom line spot. They're going to raise the rate. By 2028, we pay $100 a month.
We'll be broke.
It's ridiculous.
Lahaina paying
Okay?
$1,000.
It's ridiculous. I have a rented house. I don't want to raise the rent. Why? I got to pay tax. My tenant, if I raise the rent, well, everybody's going to suffer. Okay? And you raise the rate, the water rate is terrible, ridiculous. Why don't they sue the Navy, not us?
Yo.
You know, sue the Navy, get the money from the Navy. Why take it out of the people? You know, that's what my main concern is. But thank you very much.
I would like a response, a public response, especially from Makaha.
Hi.
Damn, that was a fast response. There is nobody online. I think it's too late.
Hi, my name is Gwen Acosta, but my maiden name is Rodriguez. I'm born and raised on Noholio Road. 67 years I've lived there. My grandfather bought the place 3 years before I was born. And the other day, my mom, some lady came, dropped a note over here. A lot of neighbors, I guess she went along the road and dropped this off. Her name is Carla. She's a lead in the youth agency who purchased the property, and it's right next door to mine and my mom's property. So, and she like top star. So I guess that these people, the Residential Youth Services and Empowerment.
RYSE, right.
Okay, for anybody, well, these people who are experiencing homelessness and whatever, hardship, I guess. But my concern, there's only a couple of us left on Noholio Road that has been there for, in fact, I see my neighbor somewhere over here, like Kevin. His wife is my classmate. She's been there longer than me, you know. And we've had a lot of people come and go, but a lot of families have been there now more than 10 years, maybe longer. I was raised on that street. Run up and down the street, play football, play whatever that we could at the time. I raised my 4 children on that street. Same thing. I have 6 grandchildren. Same thing. I have 4 great-grandchildren. When they come, they get to play up and down. They play on the road. You know, we put cones, and everybody knows when the cones are on the street, you guys slowing down because Grandma Tootsie's grandkids are on the street. You know, there's 132 members from my mom and dad's kids, grandkids, great-great-grandkids, and on down. And more than half of us live in Waianae. So her house is always full. So my concern is when something like this starts up, and we gotta pay attention to where my 4-year-old granddaughter is running by the bush to go look for the chickens or the kitty cats that are in there, we gotta worry about what's going on the other side of that fence. If somebody's gonna come out, hurt the kids, or just come out and cause trouble. And I can tell you right now, a lot of you know the Rodriguez family, huh?
Ew.
And it's not even the boys or me, my sisters, whatever. It's the grandma that you have to watch for. We made her stay home tonight. So, and I'm the oldest of the whole clan. So I just wanted to make my concerns known that we will do everything we can for this not to happen. I am sorry because I worked at Ohana for almost 10 years. I did the child care over there for the babies and the young kids and whatnot, and I love them and I understand all of that stuff, but I need to worry about our families now because nobody else is going to do it. We have to. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Any response? Chihu, continue it.
Aloha.
Aloha!
Anyway, this was actually pleasant how they discussed the matter of protest and objection to this on the Holio Road. But this is steaming. It's been steaming for a long while. We didn't have a measurement. Cedric Gates, Maile, you know that Bob McDermott back in September 22, he asked Governor Ige for a measurement of all the clean and sober homes on the west side. Fostering care, because he didn't want to discriminate anything, but we needed a measurement of all the business operation. Oh, by the way, it's not the city, it's the state, Department of Health, the judicial system, the court system, bringing in the jail diversion, the probation and paroling authority from the circuit courts, and also the public safety office of the paroling authority. In fact, on October 30th, 2023, it came on KITV News about funding denied to the program that helps with transition Hawaii inmates back into the community. The guy who complained about is Curtis Crabb because he was a subcontractor that was denied the contract. Is that related to you, Curtis Crabb?
I don't know who Curtis Crabb is.
We don't have any Crabb family members, right? So, with that said, subcontracting, there's no measurement, state operations. In fact, John Mizuno came out with related to unlicensed care homes. Senate Bill 1378 became law, Act 255. So basically, the October 16th meeting that you held, Cross, and presented Cedric Gates on that same meeting, Representatives Patrice Keahi, Department of Health, Congresswoman Tukuda, Jill Tukuda, and other officials of the state and federal, because of a broken system. The only one that wasn't there present was the judicial system and prison, public safety. They weren't present, but there was supposed to be a follow-up meeting. Then came November 14th. Cedric, you said, actually, Cross was supposed to have done a follow-up meeting from October 16th. Came to Cedric Gates' town hall meeting virtual on November 14th. I asked you the question, is it going to be a follow-up meeting? Because you attended the meeting. KI can validate that as well too. You said there will be no validation on this meeting, follow-up meeting, but you can follow up with state officials. Was there any response from state officials regarding all the non-measurement, non-conditional use permits made over here on this 9679 to There's 0 conditional use permits by the city DPP. And under the Department of Health, Arts, Adult, Residential Care Homes, 0. But there's a lot of operations that's happening out here. Transitional homes, clean and sober homes, halfway houses. No measurement. I asked of you, Cedric, you had responded to, corresponded with the state officials, not city. What answers did you get from them? I asked of you.
Are you done? So we can
No,
get
not
to all
yet.
your questions?
Okay.
Because there are 2 minutes there.
Almost
Two
out.
minutes
But
over.
we need all these Senate bills, acts to be repealed. And only our legislature can walk through the door with our Public Safety Committee and our Health Safety Committee. Because mind you, you sit on the Health Safety Committee. We need to repeal this. SR 30 needs to be repealed. Because we need a measurement of all the state operations that's happening on the west side. Because they bring it back to including the Makaha Coroner's property. The drug rehab is from the ADAD or the yeah. It was approved by the Department of Health. Troy Fernandez was supposed to be on this meeting. He's from the Department of Health, of the mental health area. He approved that. I got him in black and white. Wasn't the DPP. DPP got involved. My summary on this, DPP only approved the construction, not the operations. It's not HIPAA law violates of the Privacy Act of the operations, only the person's medical condition. We're asking about the business operations happening on this 9792. Because the weed and seed, safe and sound from Waikiki is attracting all this bad behavior to 9792. They don't belong in our area of the 9792. They belong elsewhere, from the mainland or wherever they're transitioning from.
Deport them.
Okay? That's my question. I asked for an answer for what did you get from state officials?
Okay. All right. So to answer your question, we've had that meeting. That meeting came up with a lot of great recommendations and conversations. From that, we followed up with them with an email and a phone call to get a response to all of the things that we brought up at that meeting. We're still waiting for it. I put it on my slideshow to show that we are actually looking into it and awaiting responses from them in terms of what legislation we're going to need to introduce next year to make sure that we tighten the loopholes on these projects. But in terms of also DPP and this project being built, because is it built already? Are you saying it's built?
Which one?
The RISE project. The RISE project.
It's right now they purchased the property for $825,000 back in October. So now they're going around to one neighbor that's on the side of it. They reached out and the word went out like wildfire. We are objecting and protesting against this because it's a state operation, not a DPP, state operation. They're not going to get a conditional use permit. They're not going to even get art because it doesn't go before the Waianae neighborhood law, which is important.
Because they're being sneaky.
Well, we can still submit those comments to both the state as well as city to get their understanding that
they don't care.
this
Part
is
of
the
the
community's feelings around this project, and that's how we start. But in terms of the next legislative session, which why we're here today is to have
January
legislative
17th.
update, but also to get your feedback for how we're going to address these situations moving forward. That's where we need our community to come with a
Sounds very defensive,
solution-oriented
like a little girl
mindset to come
who
work
wants to
with
win
us
re-election.
to make sure that we put these legislation forward, and then that's just part of the battle because we actually got to go get it passed now. So introducing it is one side of it, but actually finishing that loophole means that we need to codify a bill and get it to the governor for his approval. And then we also have to work with the governor's office. For example, we do all this hard work and the governor vetoes our bill, then we end up at square one again if his departments are not on board with what we're trying to do for our
Funny
community.
though, this 1397, there's budget news. They're going to, this RBSO, whatever they call it, residential youth services. They're going to approve it, they're going to get this thing done by the governor's emergency proclamation. That's how we're going to do it, and by the HUD. That's what came on the presentation, cross-craft committee. So that's what we're doing. So did you put anything to the governor that we need an emergency meeting, a legislative meeting because of this? Because I looked at the state hospital, Department of Health, they killed the nurse under the Department of Health. If more actions been coming, we have a Department of Health arsonist that was arrested, go through the judicial system on the Act 26, got placed under the Department of Health again. So he went through a vicious cycle, including the murderer. So, thank you. We need something.
We're working with you guys. I want everybody to be clear that we are working with our community. It seems like we're trying to avoid people and not do our jobs. We're trying our best.
Yes, just not get rehired or
I ask that
reelected.
you guys all work with us to make sure that process is followed through and that the voices of our community are represented in that process. Because we are just one people. We're sharing what we're getting feedback from. But in terms of making sure our community moves with us as a whole, that's important for us to understand and to recognize.
But for once, appear yourself personally on the Waianae Road Board, please. On the 3rd of April. Never once appeared on the Waianae
I didn't know
Board.
how to make it. See, I'm making contact.
Also, the judiciary actually got back today. They apologized for not attending the meeting on the 16th. And they said that they'll go out of their way to attend meetings in the future. And in terms of the presentation of that organization for the homeless committee meeting, sorry, really quickly, I'm the Housing and Homeless Committee Chair for the Waianae Neighborhood Board. Rise attended. They came on with an announcement. It wasn't a full
Aloha,
presentation
Susan.
where
Welcome
everybody
to the
had a
bullshit
presentation.
shit show.
So I can ask them to come to each neighborhood board meetings to do a full presentation.
He's running for Cedric.
Any questions online? Okay.
No, never.
Hi, Philip. Hey, so a lot of the concerns regarding what is youth, right? State of Hawaii says youth is under the age of 18.
Yep.
I've been working with youth since I was a youth. I've been with both Kahi Mohala's first state program regarding Felix decree. So I can tell you right now, we have reversed in our system. I know exactly. We have state and federal funded program, which are operating 35% less than operating cost to operate. The staff there gets paid $17 an hour to watch kids at risk. And I brought this up to you. You said you went there before the graduation once. How many years have you been in?
I've been there more than once.
Sorry, I worked there. I worked there. So remember now, I'm at the graduation, guys. I worked there. I still with the. I used to work there. I retired.
What graduation are you talking about?
Okay, I'm talking about. I started there in 2007, and I retired in 2018.
No, I'm confused. Where are you talking?
No, Youth Challenge Academy.
Oh, Youth Challenge.
Exactly. Youth Challenge Academy, the state and federally funded program that I have never seen on any of your slides. I have never seen any CIP funds for. Bobby Benson's, I operate with Bobby Benson's, I operate with state. I don't understand that. I don't understand any of you guys' stuff. Because, we want more youth programs out here, but yet you guys don't even provide money for programs that actually exist. Why is that? You guys cannot, and I'm going to tell you right now, you know what, how we can get change? I'm going to tell you change our politicians and back the lawsuit between the Felix decree. That's what needs to come back. We need to take back the system. The federal government needs to take back the system away from the state so we can actually reorganize again. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Youth Academy is in our budget every year because it's a state-funded program. So we fund both the Laulau program and the Big Island program, Waianae. We fund their operations, their CIP, their status, through the DOE and the parks of the military. Yeah, I always have Youth Challenge Academy listed in my session outline. So
$17 an hour for the staff. That's the same as McDonald's.
yeah, I know I have a lot of success stories from there. So it's good that you work.
No online questions? No?
Hi, I'm Blessings, diplomatic minister for Waianae, the Kingdom of the Hawaiian Islands. I actually don't know where to start, except to thank you both for tonight. And also I wanted to bring up and kind of express my thankfulness for you both listening to when I addressed the legislators at the last hearing where I was with Steve Owens and all that. I do want to flag the DOE for especially the children that are in the Lahaina and Maui. But to bring it back here on this island, there's a lot of issues that the community have. The fine line in that with the city and county, with the legislative, I think a lot of people may not understand, and that's why you guys get backlash. okay? I'm here, we in the bridge in the middle, and I understand where you guys are coming from. They don't know exactly everything of the HIPAA laws, the regulations and whatnot. But what the legislative position and what you guys need to do is, because the city and county is lacking so much to provide for the community's voices, that please overstep the city and county and pull through the legislative and the bills, the laws that needs to get changed. Okay, that's one issue. I'm only got 30 seconds. But I wanted to bring up the human trafficking issues that we are facing. Our children's futures, what we have left, are going swindling. No people in the political stuff wants to discuss that openly. I'm a human trafficking survivor. I'm a domestic violence survivor. I need you guys from the human community part to look at that and dissect it. I know there's Mike Lambert and everybody and all that, and they're addressing each one's. One of them is our houselessness, where our landlords don't even live here,
The blessing star.
our rise in our living expenses here. But hey, we're in Waianae. Everybody is Ohana. And I don't like looking ugly on this side. So I'm asking the legislator, now that I'm having, please focus on those things. And we, as community, should get together more often, so we are not bickering back at each other when the city and county is missing, and our governor, Josh Green, won't even come up
Piece of shit.
on this side. Thank you. Thank you for fighting for us, and thank you for fighting for the children, and thank you for fighting for Kapunas.
Blessing star, everybody.
Any comments?
Because I can say that this past budget, the 2023 budget, there was funding for trafficking. We do see those as a big problem, growing problem in our state.
Transnational.
We created a trafficking unit funded position.
I already have one.
So it's definitely a focus area.
And then I believe on the Windward side, they're developing, or they already developed a sex trafficking shelter. So basically, for victims that have been sex trafficked, they have a place for them to stay while they try to go after the accuser, or after the predator.
That's what Steve.
Okay, but the laws gotta change in that direction, and that's where it comes from, you guys. Because I know the city and county HPD, they have a lot of work to do, but once they catch them and doing stuff, and then they put it in you guys' hands, the judiciary and everything else is all right, and they get off 1 year, 2 years. Just same like our juveniles, you know, like the rise and everything else. Our community, we're looking at the fine basic of the age gap, the age difference. I've worked with Judge Browning for many years, and so I understand that there's legalities in that where we try to go both ways. But if the laws can change to where specifically, like you said, human trafficking, don't forget to add survivors and human trafficking in that.
Drug smuggling.
You know, drug smuggling and all that. There are lines in that, because the criminals and everybody else in there
don't follow laws.
Don't follow. Right?
Mahalo. And I just want to offer, for you to work with our office to draft that bill and get something introduced this year, and then we can help you follow it. We are champions on this issue, along with the many other issues.
SB 421.
Sure.
Do you have an online question?
Oh, someone finally showed up 2 hours later. What is their magical question after being so late? Oh, Tiana Wilbur. She's running for Cedric's position, if you guys didn't know this. Letting you all know now.
Hello.
Regarding the proposal for resource police officers, what does that look like? Is that lining for state police officers, or are we going sheriff? What does that resource look like?
Okay, mahalo for that question. So the question is, can I go into a little bit more detail on what the school resource officer would be? So basically, a school resource officer is
There's
an
less than
officer
like 10
directly
people on
under
Zoom.
the Department of Education, directly able to address any concerns that are arising in the community inside of the school. Sorry about that. And that would include an active shooter situation potentially, or violent crime happening on school campus. These officers will be able to actively go after that while waiting for HPD, but they're
Listen to his bullshit. Listen to his bullshit while you're getting raped.
because the security is really minimal
And wow.
interaction with our
I think this is
kids
gonna
in
work.
those type of situation.
No.
So having somebody that has
You
more
want this
authority
guy
is
to
what
be
we're
your next
looking for
representative?
in terms
Get the
of being
fuck
able
out.
to manage a situation that's occurring at our school. And if you guys are aware, there has been some active shooter threats at our local schools here. And so that is also the reason why we're going back on this conversation to see if this is something feasible. But just to give you guys some information, all other islands have school resource officers. It's because Oahu has a shortage on HPD that they can't tag those officers in to be school resource officers under DOE. But other police stations like Maui PD have additional officers and resources they can allocate to those schools,
They
which
have
is
less
why these
schools,
other
no less
schools
population.
have these school resource officers already implemented in partnership with the city. Okay.
Follow-up question.
So do we already have something already lined up for where we can do that before from, where they're already trained individuals or in that career path where we can fill the position quickly because that's another hiring process. But also, is that going to be at every school level, or are we going to have these resource officers from high school all the way to elementary?
So that's a good question. What I'm thinking right now for Oahu is that under the state attorney general, she oversees all of the other law enforcement offices under her agency as the state attorney general. And so what I'm looking forward to is having those conversations with our attorney general who has these people as resources under her, which is her name is Ann Lopez. And what we're
She's not
looking at
prosecuting the evil villains and
using
satanic Illuminati.
sheriffs or potentially correction officers that we could use to help govern those areas. And basically be stationed in an office at the school. That's basically what a school resource officer
They're going to gain weight
doing
and
for the
get fat.
majority of the time they're on campus, is sitting in the office setting and waiting for any calls that come. Wow.
Thank you, online. We're going to go back.
Facility, but DPP has ceded for 8 or less people in group home. They've ceded responsibility to ADAD and to AMH. So if there's no CP permits, there's no ARC permits, how are the people living in the Waianae close to these group homes? That's a question. That's existing legislation. We don't need new legislation. We just need the enforcement on existing. And that brings us into this home that's going to be on No Holio. How many people are going to be in there? Is it going to require a CUP? If it's 8 or less, it requires the adult residential care or the ARCH from the state. So when you say it's a DPP problem, it may not be. It depends how many people are going to be in there. I've got a copy of that letter with me if you want a copy, so you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay? So and the reason that the DPP is involved, because the land in Waianae, there's an 80-20 ratio. It's 80% agriculture, 20% residential. Honolulu is just the opposite. So as I ride around the handy van, we're always stopping homes, picking up people in care homes, but I know nobody has a permit. I know nobody has an arch certification. So where are all these homes coming from? Now you're here saying, Oregon, we're going to get answers to these questions. There's existing laws not being enforced. Now we want to put another home on our street, right to the 25-year-old, which our adults are not used. So if you look at Laulau Road, there's no sewers, there's no street lights. How many bedrooms are going to be in this house? What's the density going to be? And I just put a septic system in my house, a couple doors down, and you're limited to 5 bedrooms on a septic system. So how many people are going to be in this home? Or are they going to put some kind of commercial sewer treatment plant in there? But these things all matter, they all make a difference, and bringing in these people, is it the best to have these people here if they're from Waianae, or should they go out of Waianae to get away from where the problems are at, and maybe spend some time in Honolulu, away from mom and dad and family, and grow up a little bit. Just as Peter was saying, join the military. That's the solution. So keeping them here in Waianae may not be the solution. It may just extend the problem. Thanks for your time and thanks for the show.
Wow. That was helpful. I appreciate you sharing that information. I think that what would be really positive, especially for all of you folks who are from the Holio, is to have that developer rise and those folks have a special meeting on this to be discussed for your community specifically, and to be able to dive deep into all their details, because a lot of the questions you're asking are questions for the developer. But in terms of actual monitoring and oversight of these things, one of the things I've been working on really hard is procurement and modernizing all of our systems. A lot of times what happens is the Department of Health operates on one system and the Department of Human Services is operating on another system. They're not communicating, and that's why we don't have good record keeping. But if we modernize these systems like we needed to do with unemployment during COVID, that we do this now,
he thinks like no cocoon or adult with a brain or master's degree or a new graduate from a legitimate college can report with this bullshit. Even the people from the streets don't know.
Of these different programs that is going to make sure that the communication is clear and that everybody is on the same page.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, everyone. We're going to come up to our mark race. We do have a lot of extras for the break. Anyone wants to
take home, feed the grandkids.
And then we have a question on mine in the chat is how can we stop vape stores from popping up? We don't need no more.
Well, big commercial with Costco and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that would be DOH or DPP. The question, we can do research on that as to whether you can complain. But yeah, we did finally pass the bill to tax fee, and it's not. It's supposed to be only for adults. And so these stores are supposed to be regulated by laws, the similar laws as cigarettes.
Department of Health.
But yeah, DOH can complain to, says we're being unfairly targeted too many of these vape shops. Yeah, I agree, it's a horrible thing.
Wow. Thank you. Moving back on to the person.
I have one other question. What is the status of the golf course? What's going with that?
The golf course?
Yeah.
The status from me, we reached out to those folks. It's a Korean business conglomerate that bought it from Pacific Leagues.
Right.
We've asked for them to present to the community. We've also asked what their plans is, and we haven't gotten a response yet. So we're kind of unknown. We know that they're still operating the golf course, which is a part of that purchase. But in terms of community engagement, it's been very minimal, which makes me think that they're not going to be successful at trying to build this up to what it once was, and we'll most likely see a sell-off. And if that's the case, one of the things that I've been proposing is that for our state or the county to look at purchasing it, to put it into usage for our community.
That would be a tragedy.
Yeah, well,
I have heard that the government is requiring them to get archaeological studies done.
I would. I wouldn't think so. Everything is grandfathered in pretty much there. So they could really rebuild the whole resort and just get DPP permits.
Thank you. I would like to know how the permit process was accomplished to turn that property in Nohaleo Street into quite frankly, a homeless shelter. I mean, it's dishonest to say it's a home for youth, because it's not a home for youth. They're adults. So it is a homeless shelter. How was that permit process, or was there a zone change done?
Well, I'm guessing that, I think it depends, like your previous speaker said, on how many residents are going to be in there, because if it's 8 or less, then they don't have to get it's not considered like a conditional, they don't get conditional use permit.
So you're only going to have like 8 adults on 2 acres. Is there anything else? Is there going to be some kind of a rehab program on the property, maybe to encourage agriculture or something?
I don't know, RISE has run other types of programs as well, so they're probably going to have, they're going to be supervised, I'm sure, if this even goes through. But yeah, they're going to have to get, a license from.
I mean, this is a done deal. It's already a done deal, right?
Not necessarily. I remember there was a time when there was a home purchased by Shimabukuro, and I remember Billy Mauser and the person who gave the home presenting the video report. There was so much objection from the community, and I heard that they didn't end up putting the solar home planning in that particular instance. I don't know the status of this one. I can check, but just because they purchased the house, I don't know. They still have to get a license. I would think either from the state or the county, depending on how many residents they plan to have. So that's where you can object.
Where is this agency RISE? Where is it operating offices?
I think it's in Honolulu, RISE. Windward side, possibly.
Windward side? Why don't they do this on the windward side?
Well, youth in Waianae have asked for this. I mean, it was a priority of the youth at the designated solar program.
I mean, in essence, what they're doing is, and I see 2 things here that are actually excusing people from taking responsibility for their lives. One is prohibiting courts to fine or to have assessed fees to be levied against minors whose families may otherwise not be able to afford. I mean, aren't people responsible for their children anymore? And does government take over that responsibility now? And 18 to 25-year-olds. It's now our responsibility to house and shelter human beings. I mean, we're reducing them to pets, like cats and dogs, by giving them shelter and food.
Slaves.
These are adults. They're not children. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's live and raw.
Thank you for that.
Time short. Last 2 people.
Love you.
Waianae Kapuna counts in the house.
First of all, there's a lot of kids that come out of foster system that don't have parents to go to or have no guidance. And that's where RISE comes in. They're located in PIkachu. A lot of the kids who are homeless, if you went out there and spoke with them one-on-one, you would realize the same way all of us don't want to live outside of Waianae. If we really wanted to come up with solutions, we should sit down together and find out what areas do we want to put them. They're overtaking our beaches. We're having problems with that. We're finding needles in the sand. So what is our solution? We've done what we have to beach. We've done what I think that organizations that can come into our community and help them. So as a community, can we come together with Aloha to find solutions? Because a lot of these kids are not delinquent. A lot of them
is tough love. PIkachu old school. I'm not going to sugarcoat this stuff. And to answer your question, Tommy Maloney, the cops are short in Honolulu 400 positions. Nobody who wants to join the force because they're all corrupt. Lena Spain Suzuki. Lena Minister for Waianae Kapuna Council. Oh, the Waianae Council is going to be lit tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Come to Poker Bay. We should speed through it.
The question was that what are we doing about our houseless and our most vulnerable populations? And I heard that and it hit home for sure. The need for us to also keep our compassion and keep the low spirit alive. But I do understand everybody doesn't want to see something like this in their backyard. So as Lena was mentioning, finding out where would this be appropriate to place and coming up with a solution in that way instead of just saying it's not in the backyard. So I think just repeating what she was saying, that's the gist of it. So I'll answer on the houses side of it. My bill 2017 Ohana zones basically allows for these clusters of homes to be built to help with getting people off the streets, along with providing wraparound services. It's kind of morphed into many different programs. So these Ohana zone funding that we secured over the years, over $30 million to help address all of these different situations. They've been getting split up to different counties, but also to different cities in terms of what programming they're trying to do. So the Home Rule was one of those programs that was funded by Ohana zones. And then on top of that, we have projects like Pu'uno Waianae, which they're moving Makai from Mauka, and they have purchased their own land, but they're also building these modular units to help transfer over a lot of those folks that are at their village right now to a permanent housing situation. And then in terms of how we try to assist with more people coming off the beach, one of the things that we've been working on recently is with James Toshiba. We're working on 2 projects. We have the project at Ulavehi, which is the Kulia project, and that's already in existence. We just need somebody to run the program. So we're looking at US vets get put inside of that situation in that area so that they can then go and help service people with medical respite, etc., and permanent housing to transition to at the end of it. Lastly, we have the Nanakuli project that we're working on, which is behind Sack and Save.
Lena, he's only asking your question. He's answering your question.
Okay. In terms of the Nanakuli project, that's right next to the self-help housing project between Helelua and Sack and Save. RJ Martin is the property owner. He's willing to work and provide the state a low-cost lease to help develop these types of units. And the reality is the housing market is broken, it's busted. So in terms of people actually coming out of temporary shelters, even if they're working full-time 2 jobs, to get into an actual house these days with the rent, it's nearly impossible. So we're setting these expectations for these people to say, okay, you're going to be having 90 days to go through the shelter, and if 90 days and no housing comes up, you're back on the street. So that's the revolving door we got to end, guys, and that's something that we're trying to do with all of these different permanent housing unit programs. So to answer the question on house system.
Thank you.
I have several items on my business, and I hope I have the time to do it. I addressed the Waianae about 6 months ago about the private roads that were abandoned by capital investment. And I have still not gotten any response as to what happens to who is responsible for that particular road. We don't get any mail service, we don't get any trash pickup service because it is considered private road. And there's more than 10 mailboxes right at Waianae Valley Road, and our address is Waianae Valley Road. There's no name for the private road that we live on. So, like I said, it's about five or 6 months ago that I addressed it. Nobody has answered that question for me. And to continue on, my question now is why is so many ag land being replaced by solar projects? Within my walking distance from where I live, there are 3 solar projects, and right now there's 1 in construction. We didn't really know about that particular solar construction until the construction actually started. And all those huge trucks going on our private road, damaging the road. I mean, what happened?
Yeah, who approved that?
Who approved it and why was it approved? It's ag land.
Not commercial.
I mean, I don't understand why we are not concerned about our food source. And I'll come back to another item that's a concern because a farmer was displaced by another project. And let me go back to private property. Homeless people on private property. How do we deal with them? I deal for 2 years alone. And I did contact all the different agencies. I called the offices of all the elected officials. I called the mayor's office. I called Sam Moku's office, Humane Society, fire department, police. I got no help at all. So the system, like the other fellow said, is broken. It's really broken. And there's no way any ordinary person can get around the system.
Justice.
And I finally decided to start going to the Waianae board meeting. And that's when Tiana was very, very helpful. And I'm very thankful for what she did for me. Okay, and now going back to the other issue. I know that a lot of people supported the homeless shelter that the Korean church is running right now. And I understand that there was support from the elected officials at the time, but they had no permit to operate. And they were allowed to continue on with this homeless shelter. They even did renovations on their property, excavating on their property, and DPP did not get involved.
No permits.
There's no permit. To this day, they have no permit. And the number of people living there in that 4-acre plot is more than 75 people, unrelated people. And also, what is their home like? It's those shelters that you buy from Home Depot, and they have no lighting, no electricity, no running water, and yet they're being charged $250
off the grid.
And there's only one shower that I can see on that property, and there's no control of pets.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But let me tell you why I'm here today. Austin was nice enough to call me in. And I believe it was in March or April, I can't remember exactly. There was a raid there. There were 4 police cars, and I questioned, what happened? There was a raid. But nobody ever heard about this particular incident.
They covered it up.
So why wasn't it even covered by the news media? What happened? Nobody mentioned anything. To me, it's very, very personal when it comes to a rape. Because on our property, we have 3 women, no men.
Private property.
And they're right next door to us. And we also started having rat infestation because of the trash that's stored there and it's not disposed on a timely basis.
Thank you.
And
Can we respond?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. So I am working directly with you on this issue.
He's gonna pass the buck.
Unfortunately, some of the things that we've tried
Real world
successful,
issues.
That doesn't mean that we stop trying. We're always trying to work on behalf of our community, and I just want you to know that personally. All those complaints that you
So he's Miley's taking notes. Cedric not taking notes. Miley's writing stuff down.
hard for us to force their hand sometimes because they're the ones. I don't have an enforcement badge, and I don't have, a gun to go
He's a legislator,
go after
not
these people. So we have
justice.
to rely on
We can get it done ourselves.
We have to rely on these different
No, we don't
processes
rely on
to see the
ourselves.
results through. And I just want you to know I hear your frustration, and I'm upset that that's happening near your home. And we want to make sure that we're doing our best to get that address. But crossing the go 30-second elevator speech on
For the private roads, that's why for our priority screening session, we're using the bill to get the city or the state to speak with the private road owners so that we can, as a government, get those roads and provide the services that you're asking. So thank you for being an inspiration for that. In terms of the rat infestation, we are working on that as well. We're working with DEP for that because Department of Health said that they did the investigation and they said all their part is done. The enforcement part and the questions are going to be one, unfortunately. So we're waiting for the response for that.
Call Major Lamb.
I just be mindful of Waianae Club. I know we have to be out of here by 9 p.m. So I know we have a few other questions. We're going to go ahead and move through these questions as quickly as possible. So mahalo. Can you take that off? Yeah, thank you. Okay. So that we give everybody else a time.
Sorry, can we go back? Online. Can we do Bucky or not going away?
Online.
Law.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, Aloha, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I couldn't make it tonight, but I just want to
I know who this is.
ask both of you. February 18, 2018, there was a letter sent to the and I'm not sure if everybody is aware, but it basically says, and I quote, "I'm come to understand that the lawful political status of the Hawaiian Islands is that of a sovereign nation state in continuity." Yeah. But a nation state that is under extreme form of occupation by the United States
I'm so sorry, we cannot hear. We cannot hear. We cannot hear.
Can you guys please be quiet back there?
Oh, sorry, can you repeat the recent half that you just said, please?
Oh, so I just was wondering what are two representatives from this community, which, let me remind you on the record, that from Black Rocks to Kahena, that is crown land that belongs to the lawful autonomy of our country, that was supported and sent to Governor Eden, and if I'm not mistaken, Maile Shimabukuro is an attorney. So February 18, 2018, the United Nations has summed up a response to the status of our country. So it says that we are in a strange form of occupation by the United States, resulting from an illegal military occupation and a fraudulent annexation. So what that means is, under the laws of war that govern this military occupation, you folks are supposed to be facilitating space for Hawaiian subjects. Right now, in the hospitals, there's no persons, there's no bill that gives space or segue for Hawaiian subjects to lawfully stand in that space. I'm not here to tell you how to do your job, but I'm asking, what are you doing to give space for Hawaiian nationals to return to their lawful juris, not a jurisprudence, but their lawful juris as sui juris? You, as the parents patriae, by a municipal body corporate, by by the extension of the Act of 1871, you were only supposed to facilitate peace and law and order. Everything else is supposed to be left to the Aupuni. So what are you two representatives doing? You represent the proud lands of the Aupuni, of the country, to give space for the Hawaiian subjects to stand in that juris, because it is our right, it is provided to us. You're just a municipal body corporate. You're only supposed to be keeping peace, law, and order. So if everybody in that room understood their rights, this conversation would be way different, because we should be holding folks accountable for giving our people, the Hawaiian subjects, the lawful space to stand in this occupation. In this occupation means we, the subjects who are born in this soil, do not have to create a birth certificate in a hospital. That is not being fair in create for the in a hospital. That is not being help us understand what you're doing for the Hawaiian subjects, that will be really good for the masses of the country. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to your response.
That's okay, everybody. Let's see what Cedric got to say.
Everything you're saying is true. It's been admitted by.
She said it's true. President Bill Clinton. It's true. 1993. 1893. OHA sucks. DHL sucks. CNG sucks.
DHL to defend OHA against those who try to tear it down.
You stole the land in 1920.
Reparations are way overdue for the Hawaiian
Trillions.
people. And there's so many injustices done. This is why our court sided with Kalima. This is why our court sided with the Nelson's case. I mean, we as a state realize that what you're saying is right.
It's corrupt as shit.
And so, that is the purpose actually of OHA, is that, upon...
It sucks since 1978 because they made it by the state.
If there's going to be a creation of a sovereign government, then they would be in charge of figuring out what form that would take, whether it's nation to nation, whether it's total independence, total sovereignty, and that's something that I support. Being here in this community and raised with the host culture being so alive and well, it's definitely something that it's always been on my conscience. And one of my favorite professors in immigration law was Williamson Chang. And he did speak of that very much often, how actually the houseless Hawaiian person is not a houseless person, they're actually an activist, a sovereignty activist.
Freedom fighter.
That really came home for me. And so I agree with what you're saying, I support it, and we want to do what we can at the state level.
I second that, and in terms of self-determination,
that's
what we have to promote, that's what we have to encourage and empower, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what we continue to do. Even within this government that exists now, that's how we're trying to do our service to our people, is to get them service and help through the existing government, but also being willing to support that self-determination portion and to help get that off the ground, which in the past has happened, but never truly materialized.
Thank you.
All right, just to be mindful of time, we're going to do elevator speeches if possible.
Aloha.
I would like to echo the last speaker and say that yes, the system is broken and we're screaming into the void because obviously it doesn't serve us. If you're saying you need to modernize it, we need to get back to basics because we're a very verbal community and we need to have these people sitting in front of us and hear it as it's coming so it can be addressed immediately. I'm a resident, I'm a Huluko, and I understand that you're trying to help people, but you're ultimately crippling them by segregating them. Give them what they need. Give them what they need to be in a house, in a normal house, and have a well-paid job. And wherever that might be, this is prime ag land that can be used to feed the people. They can work there and give them a home wherever they choose to live, especially if they're of Hawaiian descent. And raise the people up, and instead of
putting them down.
Putting them down. Thank you.
Tell him, Nancy.
Aloha, I'm Khalid. I just have one thing. I'm flabbergasted to see you guys. Flabbergasted. Because we've been asking for this for a long time, since 2004. Yep. And I'm a straight shooter. You know what I mean? I'm a straight shooter. Now we talk about the homeless encampment and stuff like that. We talk about people coming into our neighborhood. Who represents us? Where's our representatives? Where's our legislators for our district? We are our own voice. My Kupunas come to us. We're not a leader. We're a voice. But when you come inside and compromise the well-being and safety of our community, because the system is broken. You cannot say it's not. It is. 20 plus years, you guys could not fix the homeless encampment. Why? It's an ATM machine. Let's face the reality. Because this non-profit organization that wants to open, you have them at Connex, it's state operation. Do you have them at Holy Road? State operation. 500 feet away from the nursing home that people are already suffering or they're under hospice. We have military there. 450 foot away from a child early education center. When you come in my neighborhood and you turn around telling us what you want to do, when are you folks going to listen? As a non-profit government operation, state operation, where do we see this from federal? How much of this going into the operation? How much of that going here? Let's be realistic. For years, Mr. Gates, you know, I watched you grow up. We all thought it was the hope. You know what? Hope just fell down. All we got is squashed it on. This is for Waianae. No worry about it. From Waianae. But let me tell you, aloha does not mean New Zealand. But when you turn around compromise the well-being and safety, and how you guys dare to talk about HBD needs to step it up. You folks have the audacity to say that when you folks are making the laws and forcing the HBD to do it, the city, how can they do their job when you're impacting them more and more?
They're short 400 people.
More and more every day. So I'm going to wrap it up with this. Do the right thing. Shame on you for letting so many of my kupunas down that's been crying for help. Shame on you folks to allow the aiding and abetting both sides. It's a money bucket. Where's the Hawaiians 20%? They got 3% coming. A lot of the business is state operated on Hawaiian homelands. 3%, you're lucky to get 3%. Nobody's fighting for that revenue.
We're not getting a penny.
Well, nobody's fighting. We hear all kinds. Hawaiian group, all these groups, all that group. Where is that connect about only? Community center. And the other thing, Mr. Gates, you talk about an education center at Cayenne Point. Please don't let it be you. We have plenty of kupunas there. We have Protectors of Paradise been cleaning that Opala for years. Please don't let it be you. Don't add and abet the situation. You have people out here. Don't think you're above them. Have that respect. And security from Waianae, not downtown.
You're not above the law just because you write the law. He's going to have to say something.
It's easy to focus on all the negatives that are going on in the community. I can highlight a lot of the positive stuff that is going on, like we did earlier. And also to look forward to the future of how do we change this. Because this doesn't happen overnight. I'm a Kikioka Aina Omakaha, and I inherited a lot of the troubles and the decade-old issues that were prior to my generation being here. And so we also are stepping up to the plate as leaders to try to address the situation as best as we can. Obviously, if it's been here for, I think your turn is on. Can I talk? You should go about it? Okay, thank you. PIkachu. And all I'm saying is that a lot of the issues that we've had are decade-old issues. Why haven't all of the former generations before us fixed the issues? And why do we, as this generation, get blamed for all the issues? That's what I want to know. But also, ultimately, I want to work for a better future. That's what motivated. That's what keeps me going in this position. It's not easy. It's trying to balance all of these ideas and needs for our community. But at the end of the day, I've always come with an open heart and open mind policy to anybody that wants to talk and actually find solution. I've never turned that down. I promise you that. So in terms of also how we find solutions, we have to be civil. We can't be yelling at directors and doing all this, because we need them to work with us. Because if we do that, and we're just burning our bridges and we won't get nothing. So that's always been my stance on it, is I can go and tear off people's head. It's not hard. I can do that. But if I do that, what result am I going to get for our community? And that's ultimately what we want to see. We want to see results for the community, not self-fulfilling things that will make me smile or make me happy for just yelling at somebody. I want to actually see that person work for our community and do what we're asking them to do. So that's why we always try to come with that alone spirit, even though we know people may not be seeing it from our perspective and don't understand why we feel the way we do. We still try to keep it alone. And that's all I'm asking us to always continue to do as our community of 96792.
Communication is important. Communication, sir.
And so we have two more questions and we'll wrap it up. Now,
communication is important. Aloha does not mean resilient. No, go.
Hi, it's Blessings again. I wanted to come back up here and follow up with Miss Kate and Mina that is out there, and also thank for acknowledging and saying that it's true with the Kingdom of the Hawaiian Islands. Now I'm back up here to inform everyone here my position as the second diplomatic minister of the Kingdom. I do have a protective order for standing against the DOE, Department of Health, and so on that is still active. It's a protective order signed by your courts, judges. What I'm up here now, and you guys are known and notified, I did speak with DOE regarding those that covers every Hawaiian case. What I'm coming up here now is saying CPS, Child Protective Service.
Sucks.
Please look into the regulations and their laws and put back the power in the parents' hands, especially with DOE as well. So that way, we don't need to send our children away in the military. And we can have our children home, and we can adjust the homelessness and the living expenses and everything else, and really create the Ohana model. So please look into the CPS, and yes, Michael Green, I understand. Okay? But my protective order is still active, and I apply it with all the duties that has the Hawaiian protective flood, and especially here on the islands, of course, and all our states. Thank you.
Last question.
Hi, how you doing? We grew up in New York. My family grew up on the same place as you. Mike said.
Oh yes, hi Mike.
How you doing? I'm fine. I just want to make a comment. I've been in the community since 1982. My first time here was in '76. There was a little break there because I was in the military. When I came back here, I made it my home, and I love it here. I wouldn't want to be any other place in the world. To me, I want to make a comment. What happened to people's common sense? Common sense will tell you the root of this whole deal. All these complaints, this negativity about homelessness and crime. The root of the problem, to me personally, is the drugs. You got to clean up the drugs. You got to clean up these drugs. You got to start with that. You start cleaning up these drugs. If you can't let people that have problems, that are mentally ill, you can't let them. You can't walk up to that person and say, "Can I help you?" You have to remove these people, and they have to be put into institutions. Take my taxpayers' money and build institutions, other sites, other money. And put these people up there and put them on the right drugs, not the illegal drugs that are out there that is just totally spoiling our community and the whole world, as far as I'm concerned. And you'll see a definite positive impact on the whole deal. It's just unbelievable. It's so common sense. It's right out there in front of us. You know, get the law enforcement involved in it and start taking care of it. Get it off the streets and take these people and help them. I have a vision. If we had people like that, and we had institutions where we could put these people out of sight, out of mind, and you put them on the right medications, they probably would be productive citizens. have farms, they would farm the land. When it came time to put it all together, to take those ones that were doing really well and let them go to the market and sell it, they'd be so happy to go back and do it all over again. But you keep letting them go out on the streets and giving them more illegal drugs and more money to buy more illegal drugs. It's not going to help them in any way, shape, or form. That's just my personal opinion. But thank you so much for listening to what I have to say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Silvan, and yes, we have a assistant community treatment program, ACT,
That's not the answer. It's been with drugs.
money to that program in the current budget, and it's an involuntary mental health treatment program for those who may be a danger to themselves or others. In addition, the judiciary, like I mentioned earlier, is looking at Waianae as a model state, and they're doing what you say. When someone's arrested, they will screen them whether they have a drug problem, mental health, and if so, they put them in a therapeutic, a mandatory therapeutic institution. So you're going to either jail or you do this. And there's so many success stories out there. It's tough love, but it's got to happen. And so I completely agree.
You're exactly right.
All right, mahalo, and thank you guys all for coming. I'm gonna have Cross close this up in Pule and send us off on our way.
Please take home food.
Please take home food. Yes.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today. Thank you for this productive conversation that we've had. Thank you for the people who came with the courage to say what they were holding inside. And really thank you for being able to bring those voices to light. Lord, we ask that everyone go home safely, and we ask that everyone have a good day tomorrow and have a safe trip to whatever they have to do every day. Lord, we ask that you give us guidance as we maneuver through the issues that we have from our flesh, Lord. And Lord, thank you again for the food, and please protect us again as we all meet recently. In your wonderful name we pray. Amen. Please don't forget any of your things.
So you know you're not going to leave this without Pikachu's report. Obviously we saw the body language. Someone's pressured, we won't say who. But if you're talking about Makaha, that's under Rural Pattern 2243, which is under Paki, which is under my rural Hawaiian lineage. So if you're going to tell me you're going to represent Makaha, I'm going to check your Candio Kuko right now. That you do not own it. It does not belong to you. You can say aloha aina all you like, but that means the land owns you. You don't own the land. So I have to clarify this for all of you. We have choke comments on this video. More surprising how we started with. Obviously, we got people talking about human trafficking. You know she's a human trafficking survivor, victim by her own goddamn mother. You know, my own mama doesn't even show up for my birthday, Christmas, or bullshit. They met with my family. They didn't invite me for fucking lunch. So, yeah.
Okay, so let me just cut in, sorry.
Go ahead, add what you like.
City and county
Hold on.
recognize the kingdom.
The mayor did.
Yep.
The president did.
The president. So, Hawaiians, come on.
Get your shit together. Help us organize your own community and district. You don't got to get the ego involved. And you know, what they don't talk about is HRS 172-11. Which is the Land Commission Awards allodial title. We heard Kumuke come on the online Zoom today. Only 2 people online, Tiana and Kumuke. And obviously, all right, so 3. So I'm gonna tag Lena, tag Lynette, tag everybody else. But if you're gonna run Makaha and talk all this shit to me in front of my face, Pikachu gonna file under the Paki line for Maile, Big Island, Oahu, and everything else. Plus, it comes from King Kikalike, which can write all the lines, blah, 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 blah. But you got this young punk-ass kid trying to tell you and me what to do on the west side, best side. That shit ain't gonna happen. And you know the Mahu is running for office. Take your seat versus Tiana. So we gotta pack up, we gotta roll. Samson Souza, we love you all. I have Terry here. You guys know we did adopt the block for the west side. And Tiana, who went on the online instead of showing the physical, who lives down the road. You know, I love the person, but when you start jumping from other political parties, you know, people consider you as a traitor and you're not there. And then if you can't show up and you're going to run for office for these people, of course, I've got to say something. So if you can't show up, you can't run, you can't show up. There's Terry right there. Terry! Let me borrow you for 30 seconds. to close out this interview. So if you guys didn't know, I have a friend who actually works at the Waianae Health Comp. Yeah, and we're going to be straight for all of you. So if you can hear the background right here. They're not talking straight. They're talking full of kukai. I got her two aunties know. And, you know, so auntie, I just want to let you know, we had so much Facebook comments from Caucasians. They saw Cedric's body language, and they said, look at him. He's feeling pressed. He can't answer the question. He's getting so defensive.
He was very defensive.
Because he can't handle the truth.
And to think he's going to run for Senate.
Oh, he's going to take over for Maile.
Yeah, you really want that for the West Side? Don't think so.
Yeah, you didn't earn the auntie's trust, so obviously you're not going to get the Kapuna Council vote. So stupid. But Samantha was in the background. Your spy is right here listening to everything.
6 of us that we have to work together.
Yeah, so ABC might be sponsoring some of these pendejos on a Waikiki, so you gotta handle your Alpha Bravo Charlie. Terry, stop working. Love you, OG. So, if you guys don't know, I have a friend still in the Republican Party. She adopted the block. We helped out, and I was just dressed in Tiana. I didn't show up today, but we adopted the block. We cleaned it up. I filmed it. I got the trash bags. We did from Samson Su's house. I can show you the report, and she can tell you all the truth. You guys want to know the truth? This is this chica, and she's already in your candidacy training, but you guys haven't seen her many times because she got off F because of the hate messages. So I'm going to give her 30 seconds time a day to send her any message because she's healthy. And what would you like to say to our Facebook page?
We need change on the West Side. You guys like make any changes, better vote right, put the right person in, and just know that West Side, we need changes. And it's going to happen from you people out there. You got to do what is right, vote right, get it done for our people. God bless you all.
Right, so while I have Terry here, I want to pitch something to all of you. I think there's a common ground we can agree upon. Because when you join these parties, they don't tell you to organize the 51 districts, 250 precincts, and your counties. But I feel like they're making us fight each other, the donkeys, the elephants, the Terrys, and the independents always lose. But we do need to organize our communities. I want to find the best leaders from each place, like Mililani run Mililani, Waianae run Waianae, Lahaina run Lahaina. I mean, that's your districts and precincts. Like, we didn't make this stuff up. It's been since the 1840 Constitution, which is, you say, Akupoa. Guess what? That's your district. Congratulations, and we need your reps and people for you to step up the plate. Any few words you want to add, Ms. Terry, before you got to get back to work?
Nope, the power is in the precinct and the districts. Got to get back to the grassroots. Because if you guys want to take this state back, it's all going to start with you. The community got to get up, stand up, and do what's right.
That's right, because we can't do it alone. We can't win this war alone. We tried, and we failed, but that's why we need all of you. You heard all this bullshit PR going down today. You know they're going to run for office, so I'd rather promote you guys. If you're Pono, have the vision for the Hawaiian Kingdom and our people, I'd rather put Pono people. It doesn't matter what color, ethnicity, or race you are. But if you're for the people, you show your proof of work. PIkachu, and I bet you Terry will support you too.
Yep.
All right, we love you guys. If you guys didn't show up today, you'll see it on Facebook Land and later on Laulau TV. Chihu. Yeah, you. Oh yeah. Combining forces, Hawaiian Kingdom. In Love you all. Pika pika. Chihu. Good night.